Team 15, and this is our final assignment for CSCI 599 Content Detection and Analysis for Big Data. In our final assignment, we will continue with our analysis of the TREC DD polar dataset by evaluating our content detection for big data. For the fourth task, we analyze the CCA dataset to identify the MIME types of the response files and the named entities that are found for each of them. The chord diagram shows the occurrence of each named entity for each of the MIME types used in the analysis. When we hover over a chord for a particular MIME type, we can see how many occurrences of the measurement were found in the dataset. Our fifth task was to compare the file sizes between the CCA dataset and our solar index by MIME type. We used the horizontally grouped bar chart to visualize our results. The data is grouped according to MIME type. We can see that for most of the MIME types, the CCA dataset has a higher file size than our solar index. Our sixth task was to demonstrate parser call chain and how much content and metadata is extracted per MIME type. We used a bar chart to visualize these results. This chart shows parser hierarchy versus text retrieved per file size per MIME type. When we hover over a bar, we can see the metadata extracted. For task 7, the language for each document in the dataset was identified using Tika and visualized based on MIME type using a dashboard. English was the predominant language in the dataset. The rest comprised files in Latin, Chinese, Russian, and other languages. For task 8, we have already created word cloud for the sweet words in the previous assignment. For this assignment, we created a word cloud for metadata keys and language keys in a similar way. You can see that English is the most used language. For task 9, we applied 4 different NER toolkits. We picked the files with most entities in this visualization. We also displayed the number of entities the majority of NER toolkits agree on. You can notice that NLTK does not detect too much data in the HTML. It detects a lot better for text files. For the 10th task, we were asked to extract various measurements from our data and identify the minimum, maximum, and the ranges for these. Some of the measurements that we extracted were time, length, mass, frequency, electric current, and voltage. We have used the hierarchical bar chart to visualize these measurements. When we click on time, we can see the various elements within it. And when we click on each element, we can see the maximum, the minimum, and the range for these values. Our second part was to do a type analysis for a measurement. We chose to do the type analysis for time. When we click on this, we can see that time is divided into days, hours, milliseconds, minutes, seconds, weeks, and years. And on clicking on each of these elements, we can see the various values that are assigned to it. We used a hierarchical bar chart to do the domain analysis for the .com, and the measurements that we extracted for this were time, length, mass, and frequency. And when we click on each of these elements, we can see the values that we get and what the ranges for these are. Lastly, we used a regular bar chart to visualize the various measurements obtained for time for files of MIME type text HTML. Here we can see that the most frequently occurring time period was between 2000 to 2007, and the most frequently occurring year was 2007. Thank you.